Ladies and gentlemen, you are officially channeled into
Absolute Talk.
Hey, konnichiwa. It's Absolute Talk with Fans of the Forge crossover special? What?
Hello, we're here.
Different.
Oh my god. Well, this is the first of a crossover special, and we're not talking Jetsons and Flintstones. But it's a pod with quote-unquote big air quotes, shout out to Dylan Bush, that says it all. But I'm here with Fans of the Forge. So I'll see if I can introduce, just to make it feel homey. So the brethren behind me is...
The real brother, Sean.
And then to his left, we have...
I'm Chris.
And, of course, across from me is...
Teresa.
And I gotta say, this is awesome. Like, thanks for having me on to do this first ever crossover.
Oh, of course,
That's good.
of course. When you asked, we're like, of course.
Yeah.
Love to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I know that because I started binge watching like several months ago, and I apologize for not watching you guys since day one last year.
That's okay.
But that's okay. Binge
Believe me.
watching
That's right.
when
You're not alone.
Nobody's watched. The only person that's ever watched us from day one is me,
Right.
because I've edited every single one of these things. But beyond that, I don't think a single person's watched every single one of them.
No.
Same thing when I have to edit all my podcast episodes. Well, let's see, it's gonna be at least 60 since last year, but it's like every single one. It's like, okay, here, finish that, fix that, work on that. It's like, but I have to give you more credit because you have twice the job because you're doing both video and audio.
Well, it's a little different, but it's also, I do it all in one go. So it's like the audio, I just drop it into the video file, right? I edit it the way I want to edit it. And then when I export my file, I'm just exporting audio separately afterwards and then just uploading it separately.
And the video like syncs with that.
Yeah. So you know, I'll take the audio that we're recording through the mics and then sync it with the video. And then when we're done, once the final edit is that, I'll output both of those as separate files. And that's how we do that. So it's not too bad, but thanks. Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I can't do it.
All
Yeah.
of that.
You can't do it.
I don't have the equipment.
Part of why you've never seen an episode of Just Me and Sean, because he does like all the things.
I do a lot of stuff to do this show.
I like probably work to just record, just turn stuff on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you'd have to edit it.
Yeah. I
Still.
still have to edit it.
Easy
so.
coming from a guy who plays guitar in a band once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
And then have to, back in your old days when you used to play guitar and you know, we have bleachers, and then it's like you gotta go with the guy across the room for the sound checks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't do it all. But
No, of course not.
No.
Fun fact, Sean played in a band that I was originally the lead singer for
Right.
What?
back in the day.
long time ago.
Oh, yeah, this is
The OG band.
high school.
Yeah.
You know, you know Jordan, of
Yes.
course. So Jordan and I started a band back in the day for our high school battle of the bands, and that iteration of the band fell apart, and other people were brought in, and eventually one of those people was Sean, and I was kind of
Yeah.
like a roadie and went on to their shows and helped them set up and watched them play Webster Underground a million times,
Yeah.
amongst other places, and
Yeah, I probably joined, I don't know, maybe a couple years after.
it was during college at
Yeah.
that point for
Yeah, it was a
sure.
little ways.
But yeah,
Yeah.
fun fact.
How'd you guys do in the Battle of the Bands?
They didn't choose winners.
Wow.
It was. I don't think there was winners.
Whoa,
It
battle?
was more like
What?
it was more
No
like a
winner?
talent show, but I don't think they voted for anybody to
Talent
win.
shows have winners.
Well, our high school was not on top
Oh,
of their
pretty
game for that, I
sufficient
guess.
ribbons.
No.
I mean, I sucked in my talent show, and at least I knew where I stood. Like, hey, you're not making the show.
Oh, we sucked. We definitely sucked as a band. But we got it together in like a few months and managed to play a couple songs for people. So I thought it was impressive
Yeah.
for what we pulled off. That video, somebody has it somewhere on an old VHS tape. If it never sees the light of day, that would probably be for everybody's benefit.
Yeah.
If they take it to Costco and have it converted to DVD, that could be a different story.
True.
It's dangerous.
Don't tell Jordan. I think Jordan's the one with
You
the
think he
tape.
has it?
I thought Jordan had it.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe George.
George wasn't in the band
Bill.
anymore.
Well, I might not have been in it, but
I don't know if George would have
is
it.
someone in a band? that
Maybe
would've
Bill.
filmed
Maybe Bill.
I feel like if George had it, he no longer has it.
it? Mm.
No, definitely not. Anyway, I digress.
You digress, and I don't know how to segue into that, but I'm going to do so anyway with my Capri Sun. And it was cool because really quick going back, the reason for the Capri Sun, folks, is at Sean's wedding, in which Chris and I, we were part of the groomsmen crew. In a synagogue, there was a side room that had all these snacks, and weirdly enough, we saw his Capri Sun.
Yeah, that's right. I think I picked them out.
Oh yeah, we made some mixed drinks with those, if I remember.
That's
correctly.
right. Yeah. Yep.
Wasn't that your groomsman gift? Was like flasks
Yeah.
full of stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. That's
It
right.
was a fun time. We had a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I just went to Costco, grabbed some snacks, and
Love Costco.
yeah, Capri Suns. I mean, that's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Capri Suns and video conversions. All the healthy snacks. But yeah, it's almost like the running theme because mixed drinks, regular drinks, and hardly kids were drinking. It was like all as adults.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
The
It
few
worked.
children that were
There
there.
were a
Yeah.
few children, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know what Capri Suns are, probably.
but the adult to child
Kind of a
ratio.
throwback. You're a throwback. Who doesn't love Capri Sun?
Of course.
Yeah.
And of course, a tradition on Fans of the Forge. So, Sean, what you got drinking?
I'm drinking Sam Oktoberfest, which is pretty good.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year, and it's perfect.
It's a classic.
Leaves are falling, pumpkin spice is out.
Apple
Time
cider's
for
out.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
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 I'm drinking water because I am still a part of Sober October, and I'm gonna keep that up for the rest of this month. So just water for me again.
I've got some raspberry zinger tea. I don't know if you can hear it got a little cold or something. So,
Yeah.
going for the tea.
Yeah. And Chris, really quick, because last time on Fans of the Forge, you talked about the paleo diet. How's that going?
Great. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Just
Feeling good.
You know, I've lost a few pounds, which was the goal, and not that I needed to really lose a lot, but it was just we had a long summer where I stopped eating well, and I was eating lots of bad food, and so it's kind of just a recharge sort of thing, reset. So
Yeah.
it's lots of salad and meat, and it's
And a grumpy attitude at the beginning because apparently lack of carbs and sugar makes one grumpy.
yes, you can get like flu-like symptoms when you cut the carbs and sugar out because your body
Yeah.
goes into like this weird withdrawal from sugar and carbs. So yeah, you get a little grumpy.
And he told me about this phenomenon 2 days after he started. Like,
Yeah.
So it all
that
makes sense.
explains
Oh, perfect.
Yep,
Yes.
Yeah.
that grumpiness has gone away. I think.
It has, yes.
Yeah, I have a dance friend of mine who used to live in Cambridge. Now she lives in Texas. So shout out to Haley Hoglund if you're listening. But at the times when I go up to visit and I stay over after I do a DJ gig on a Friday or something, she and I will hang out for brunch or something the next day. But she's on a total paleo diet, like health-wise, allergy-wise, and all that stuff. So if there's other things like you're looking for tips and all that stuff in terms of paleo, I can always drop a line. She'll get back to me on it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Luckily, the internet is a good resource for that sort of stuff too, and then that's kind of where I've been getting a lot of that.
Some nice chicken the other day.
Oh yeah, we made it was an
It's called butter chicken.
butter chicken, but
there was
it's
no
Indian.
butter in
It's
it.
Indian food basically. It's slow cooker butter chicken, and it's made with coconut milk and a bunch of different spices, and it's on the paleo diet according to the website I
Uh-huh.
saw, and it was delicious. It was very
Was it
good.
chicken from the ranch?
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
Those are pet chickens.
not food chickens.
We're-
Not
We're
big.
still like, about the turkeys, though.
You
Yeah.
can get, I've already offered to make some Thanksgiving
We
dinners
got
out of
some
those
dibs on those
turkeys,
turkeys.
Yeah.
They're annoying, man.
but we'll see.
Yeah. How about this? So, how did you all three meet in the first place?
Well, Chris and I met because of the band somewhat.
Yeah, I think I'm after you joined the band.
Yeah.
I had already quit by that point, but I was going to the shows, and that's when I first met Sean when he was playing with the band, and we were hanging out, listening to Boston in the same Jeep that you still drive today.
Yeah, all right.
And,
Close to
talking
300,000
about-
miles
282.
282.
Yeah.
Holy cow. It's impressive.
with a bike trailer hitch.
Still trying to get a bike rack for it, though.
So that's how Sean and I met back in the
Yeah.
day. And then,
I worked with Chris's sister, and so I met Chris through his sister Michelle, and then I met Sean through Chris. We were at, I think we came to see the band play. Jordan, Becky, and you all in the band.
Yeah.
Is that when I first met you?
Element Zero.
I don't remember.
I don't know. No, I feel like
Circle of friends. Somehow I met Sean.
Or at,
when did we start doing Galaxy of Zeros? It was prior to that.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah, it had to be.
I mean, we've known each other once Teresa started coming around, we were going to a lot of the same parties with like George and Kyle, and
Yeah.
Jordan and Becky would always invite us. So I think it was probably more like
Yeah.
We
We
probably
like
crossed
that.
paths at some point, and then more frequently at some
Yeah.
point thereafter.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we came up with, if we could talk about the idea of how we came up with Fans of the Forge.
Oh yeah.
I was again going to watch that same band. You were no longer.
Yeah,
in it.
no longer part of that band. And
We were having a conversation at the bar while they were playing.
yeah,
I used to play guitar in that band.
and they said, "Hey, have you ever heard of a show called Forged in Fire?" I said, "Yeah, I've heard of that show. I've watched it." And they had just started getting into it, and Teresa, your dad, kind
It
of
was my dad.
turned you on to it.
Talked his ear off for like 45 minutes about this show. So then we watched an episode.
Yeah, and then we just had all this equipment laying around
From our old
from
podcast.
the old podcast, and said, I think we looked and no one else is doing any sort of fan stuff about the show.
At least not in the capacity that we ended up doing.
Yeah.
It was, there's little guys that were on the show would do videos and things on YouTube, but the podcasting community was a lot smaller, and then within the bladesmithing community,
Right.
when we started, there's one or two other ones that had been around. Now there's probably like 5 or 6 new ones that have popped
Yeah.
up over the last few months. Different guys that are doing it, but none of them were Forge and Fire specific. So that's kind
Right.
of the way we took it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we could talk about forging because at the time we had zero ideas about that. We just
Yeah.
watched TV.
Yeah, we had no experience with that for a while, but from the person on the couch perspective watching a TV show, we definitely had that experience.
Yeah.
The couch potato, armchair quarterback.
Exactly.
It's like, I can do that.
And so we started taking notes and doing wrap-ups.
And it wasn't long until somebody that was on the show that had won. Actually, the first person to contact us wasn't somebody that won. It was just one of the guys that was on the show
Yeah.
to correct us on our notes, because our notes don't tell the whole story of what's actually happening in the episode. So from there, after that one guy, it's just like they started coming out of the woodwork. And then I think we started an Instagram after that, and that's when we found out that Instagram is the bladesmithing
Yeah.
social media place. Yeah, for sure. So
Wasn't one of your first like 7 or 10 followers Drew?
yes,
Yep.
I
yeah,
can't remember his last name.
Drew
Goodson.
Goodson. Yep. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
We haven't talked to him in a while, but
He's just working on cars now.
yeah, he's doing a lot
doing a lot
of
of
stuff on
garage
cars.
work.
He's working at an auto parts place,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think he was, and I think now he's all of his Instagram stuff now is him like at a garage, like working on cars
Oh, okay.
for a shop. It looks like. So I don't know how much forging he's doing these days.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Just well.
Were you surprised at like how much information was coming from the guests that you interviewed in terms of the show itself compared to what you expected?
I think that I was constantly surprised about the stuff that was left off the show that didn't make it to air, that the guy was like, well, this happened and whatnot, and then they didn't show this, and it's kind of they like to speak their piece a little bit sometimes off the record.
Sure.
Like they should have shown this. Like it doesn't make me look that good, but that's not how it happened. Stuff like that.
Or they'll go into like, well, I said this one thing, and then they had a whole storyline they built into the show
Right.
about one thing that I said while I was forging, and so it's interesting to kind of hear their point of view. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
But-
most of it's straightforward. Either they pass or they fail. How they get there, we're now realizing it's all the same. Every episode's the same. The
Very
same
formulaic,
pitfalls.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, they lead to the commercial break with a problem, then comes after, and it's not a problem. It's like, okay.
And the predictions, like the judges will say a thing, you're like, oh,
Right.
that's gonna have that mistake.
oh yeah, it's
Or-
actually very predictable. if
Yeah.
you-
Yeah, or there's a D-lam here, or if I can borrow that for a sec.
sure.
Or it's like, okay, I see cracks here, I see a D-lam here, I see a cold shut here. And, of course, one of the best things about your show is, as we'll see more episodes down the road, or previous to this, whenever it gets released or not, but I love the Blade Speaks kind of segment where you have a term for your show and what the definition is. Like, hey, you want to learn what that meant on an episode? Here it is.
Yeah, we got to do more of those. We kind of
Yeah.
slacking on that aspect.
I came prepared because I watched some old Fortune Fire episodes and I took a couple of pictures of those because I wasn't going to remember to pause and write it down,
Oh, okay.
especially if I have the play pause bar graphic in the way.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I'll just take the picture and then I'll try to study it later. But there was some cool stuff that I'm volunteering for later on when you guys have to do the recaps.
Good.
Sure.
We'll use it.
Yeah.
I actually
absolutely.
have one term in my notes real quick.
Yeah.
What do you got?
problem.
For the people that are fans of my show that don't exactly know what forging is, I found out on a Forging Fire episode from Jay Nielsen. You're a good buddy.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Our best friend.
He was very nice. Very nice guy. Supposed to get us in on that show. I still haven't heard anything from
yeah.
them. I had one conversation with Doug after we met him, and that was
Wait,
about
was
it.
you
it.
met Dark Markida?
We did not meet him, no.
Or you heard of?
No, Sean and I met
Oh,
Doug.
you got,
What?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we have
did not.
pictures with him on our Instagram. I think if I let's pull it up here.
There are times that they go and do things and I'm home.
When we went to Blade
You
Show,
definitely got a
I
picture of it.
don't.
I don't know if I did. I might have.
we were
But maybe
together.
maybe it was taken on someone else's phone. I don't think it was taken on mine.
Let me see here. I know. Look at these Blade Show pictures here. Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you even bring up like, hey, we gotta get you on our show one day?
He knew who we were.
Yeah.
When we said, "Hey, have you heard of Fans of the Forge?" He goes, "That's you guys."
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he
Didn't he ask where Teresa was?
They asked where Teresa was, and then then he was like, "Well, you want to interview Jay Nielsen, but you don't want to
Right.
interview me." And I said, "Doug, we've been trying to get a hold of you for a year. Like seriously, when he was one of the first guys we kept trying to message and get a hold of to see if we could interview him, and we never heard from him."
Yeah, it's like we don't care. In person, Skype, we just want to interview because we think you're cool.
Exactly. He's a
Busy guy.
very busy man.
I almost said like Jason Knight. Another great ABS master that you guys got to interview and meet up at different times. Like,
Yeah.
that had been a cool experience. You got to tell me more
That
about
dude.
that.
Well, that was funny because he found us, and didn't he contact us about doing an interview? And then he's like, what is this?
Yeah, I think we had maybe 20 followers or something at the time, and then all of a sudden I see one day Jason Knight followed us, and I go, wait a second, why do I know that name? And I click on the account, I'm like, wait a second, and then I looking through it a little, I'm like, this is the dude that was on the show.
Yeah.
And so then like I think I texted both of them and be
Yeah.
like, what are the former judges just followed us? And then all of a sudden, like within 5 minutes, he'd messaged us. What do you guys do?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was very helpful to us and gracious. I think gracious isn't the right term, but he was very personable.
At some point, anyway, he let you stay at his house.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So the original interview was, we set it up and we got it going and we got our first flood of followers because of him, because he told his followers that he was going to be coming on our show, and
Yeah.
we learned a lot from him in that one interview. That's still one of our better interviews, I think. And then from there, when we were going down to the Pigeon Forge grudge match last year, I messaged him saying, "Hey, aren't you somewhere near Tennessee?" And we were thinking he was North Carolina or South Carolina or something. And he goes, "I'm in Tennessee." And I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "Oh, you're going to drive right by my house. You should come over and stay at our house." We're like, "Okay."
Right.
And I thought about that. We've thought about that afterwards. And generally, if somebody you've only talked to once invites you to stay at their house, you probably wouldn't say yes to that.
Right.
But for some reason, we're like, it's Jason night. Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
If they're somewhat famous, you got to do it.
Right. And then we met his family, and they're all really cool. His wife, Shelly, is really great. His kids are fantastic smiths.
Yeah.
His daughter is making some crazy knives and stuff now. And the son there, he's
Tristan,
the son, and then Tiger Lily is their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan's doing more blacksmithing stuff, but very, very interesting family. And they put us up in their house, and then we ran into them at Blade Show as well, and we had a nice conversation with Shelly while we were there, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Interesting fella for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to try out his beer cannon.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We did.
No, I don't. Did he have it?
I don't know if he had it.
I don't think he had it. I think it's a recent addition.
A beer.
He's got
can.
this little.
It's like you shoot beer cans out of a gun at
For what
target
purpose?
for fun.
Like empty ones, I mean?
No,
you
they're
shoot
full.
ones, and then they explode whenever they hit something.
Yeah.
We did shoot off of his front porch.
Yeah.
Like he just handed us a gun and said, "Hey, go shoot at that target."
Right. Like a 9mm or something.
Was it a 9mm? I thought no, it was a 22. That was a 22.
Oh, okay.
It was a little
Yeah.
plink plink sort of,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And then you're in his house, and he has
There's stuff everywhere.
There's stuff everywhere. He has an entertainment center where the TV and stuff is. He reaches down and just pulls out a bunch of knives, and it's like, yeah, look at this one, that one. Hey, look at my Han Solo gun.
Right.
And so it's like, oh, geez. Here's all the Japanese whiskey. Let's go to town.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Can't wait to do it again.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was hoping that because I ordered Night Forge Studio shirt, the Be a Maker Not a Taker one, and it was supposed to be delivered 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no.
And it's like, okay, well, wait 5 business days. So I waited a week. Nothing. I emailed. Someone responded like a day or so after that, and it's like, order might have gotten lost. We'll send you another one with an extra shirt for troubles. That was like a week ago. I still have nothing. I was going to rip my hair out, so I sent like two emails in the last few days. Like, any way I could track the order?
It might just be Shelly doing it.
I mean, that's pretty sure that. Well, it depends on where you're ordering it through.
Yeah.
There was a guy named Joel that responded back.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Because it might have been through like a third-party printing company or something.
They do their printing through a third party. So for the shirts, at least, I could take a peek. I could talk to Shelly and see what's going on there. In the meantime, I did stick a Be a Maker Not a Taker sticker there for you, and there's a pin, and there's also one of our stickers there as well. Those are for you, man. You can take those with you.
Thank you so much. Oh, I have the cake too.
Oh yeah, bust out the cake.
I can go get some plates and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could take a quick break or something for commercial.
What do you want to do? Yeah, we could. Or you guys
Now
wanna
here's a word
take-
from our sponsor.
All right.
I'm going to go make more tea anyway.
Okay.
We'll be right back with more of the crossover special right after these words. And whenever we're ready, we're back. I think. Are we back? We must be back.
Sure, we're back.
Right back, I guess. But yeah, one of the cool features I gotta talk about is the whole green screen concept. So when did you come up with the idea for that?
This has been a green wall for years now.
And I keep forgetting to say green wall.
Either way, it's green screen, green wall. When we were doing Galaxy of Zeros, originally it was just an audio podcast, and we were just recording the audio. And then I got the bright idea, why not? Let's do YouTube with it as well.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, we could do a green screen and put whatever the hell we want behind us. And so rather than purchase a green screen, fabric and stuff, and hang that up behind us, I thought it'd just be easier to paint one of our walls because we're already down here recording anyway. And so I spent maybe an evening or two painting the wall, and that was that. It's kind of been that way ever since. And then it makes for some fun editing. You can kind of put us wherever you want.
Although now we're covering it up.
Well, I still put
Partially.
stuff in the backgrounds. Like one of the more recent videos, I put up like pumpkins and hay bales behind us, and space and other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun to change it up.
And he had some weird anime Mushroom Kingdom or something.
Oh yeah, I have
It
that.
looked like
Someone
cartoon
comment on
1960s.
something about the background, so you're like, okay, and that's when you started
Yeah.
funky
So we
with it.
had we had a little back and forth with another podcast, Knife Talk podcast, and one of the guys mentioned that our set made us look like we were Taliban. Was it Taliban or ISIS fighters or something?
yeah,
we had
something
the
like
big,
that.
because the green screen we used for the majority of the first chunk of our videos was like a scratched metal look to it. Kind of it looked like this.
Yeah.
That's with the same background. And then they made that comment, and so I was like, well, it's a green screen. I could put whatever the hell we want. And so that's when I started switching it up.
Yeah.
We did interviews with those guys, and I think I put him when we did an interview with Craig. I made like an English countryside behind us or something.
Yeah.
And so that was like
pretty
the
good.
kickoff.
Yeah.
And so from there, it's easy. You find anything you want online and just put it up on the green screen, and you go.
Next thing you know, Sean, Chris, and Teresa, hey, there's water in the background. It's an ocean. They're on the sea doing a recap of something.
Be on like a raft or something. In
Yeah,
the
we had
ocean.
an
Like,
iceberg. We had a raft.
like a shark swimming like by. Like,
Did we ever? I don't know.
no,
if I-
could you?
Oh, I could. I mean, you could put I could put a video
Yeah.
behind us for the whole thing. The problem with that is you go to export that video and it's going to take you like 4 hours because it's got to render a moving video in the background. Not difficult. It just takes time.
No, maybe not the whole time. Maybe it's like
I used to use it more for the testing, to show actual testing
Right.
from the show and edit it that way. But that became a hassle, especially because if you didn't modify it, then
Properly,
it would get flagged by YouTube as being History Channel's content, and we weren't trying to steal their content. We were just using short clips. Technically, what would be considered fair use, but especially because we weren't even using the audio.
Right.
But it would recognize it and we'd get flagged. So it was like, it's not worth the effort to go through that every time. So-
Yeah, you don't want the infringement people coming after you, them pricks.
Well, I think it's just I don't think it's anyone in specific that does it. It's like more of a computer thing that just
Yeah.
the algorithms see it. As far as I know, the people at Forge and Fire like us. The couple of the people we've heard of have talked to us, and
They don't dislike us.
they don't dislike us, except maybe David Baker, because we've been mean to him over the years, but not
Have
like
we?
rudely mean, just making jokes at his expense. Not Teresa, of course. Teresa's
Not
never-
recently either.
No, we stopped. We stopped after because I started to feel bad about it. We were making jokes at his expense. I still don't
Got
know
that
why.
pocket tape measure.
Well, yeah, the pocket tape
That's
measure.
awesome.
That's not bad. I still.
The kilt.
I know. I don't mind the kilt. Lots of guys go on the show with kilts.
It's true.
It was the
Jason
phone
and I have
case.
one.
It was the phone.
that
Oh,
you had
yeah, the
zero
phone case.
Control over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not even History Channel. This other or was it the History Channel that did the pans?
Oh,
Whatever
that was,
company did the pans took his likeness on this
Yeah.
phone case, and you just ran with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how could you not?
You can.
You think, I mean, it's got his face on it, so you think it's associated with the guy. Like,
Yeah.
because it's.
It's not like I'm sure if anybody
mean-
went over to him and said, "Hey, can we put your face on a phone case?" He's like,
Well, I'm sure they own some of his likeness.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, just put his face on a phone case. But
Whatever.
that's what you see. That's what you go after.
Of course. But anyway, after we interviewed Jay, that was like our real foot in the door with them. It's a shame that it kind of didn't go anywhere after that. But
How'd you guys get in touch with Jay Nielsen, or did he get in touch with you?
oh, so as you can see, we're in our basement. This is my sanctum. I come down here in the mornings really early to use the treadmill and get some exercise.
it used to be our living room. Now it's his sanctum.
Yeah.
It used to be your craft room, Teresa's craft
was
Very
area.
briefly lived. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All your stuff had to move.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
My stuff was in that corner, and it's now in the furthest corner of our basement.
Yeah.
I'm finally kind of getting in there, but every time he had a new idea, my stuff got further into that
Yeah.
room over there.
It was more about
Fine.
consolidation of our crap. But anyway.
At least
I was-
it didn't get consolidated into that fireplace.
Yes, that's true. That's
Never
true.
once opened that fireplace. Been here 8 years.
The only time I've had to open the fireplace was when a bird fell down into it, and eventually it flew out, but we didn't know what was going on there
Yeah.
for a while. I thought it was a squirrel that got stuck.
Mm.
Anyway, long story short, I have a stack of books and DVDs that
Oh, yeah.
I won from Michael Allenson and the guys over at Allenson Armory. Because I was interested in getting into bladesmithing. They sent me some books and DVDs, and one of those sets of DVDs was a couple of Jay Nielsen instructional DVDs, intro to bladesmithing sort of stuff. And I was watching one of those at like 4:30 in the morning, and I tagged him on my personal Instagram account, and he saw it, and he gave me like the thumbs up in the DMs, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember, but because we had somehow, prior to that, I had made a meme about
that's right.
something that he had said on the show about one guy that
boy.
had stuck his hands. He stuck his hands in the oil or something, and I forget what the meme was, but it was like, it's not worth looking up.
I don't
Anyway,
remember.
Jay Nielsen saw the meme.
Not putting his hands in the oil.
Yeah, Jay Nielsen saw the meme and thought it was funny, but I misspelled his name.
Oh, that's right.
And so then he's like, you misspelled my name. So I fixed it, and then I sent it to him, and he posted that.
Would you spell Jay?
No, I
Nielsen.
spelled Nielsen wrong.
Tiny.
I put an E when it was an O or something. Or no, I switched the I and the E.
Yeah.
You're right. And long story short, after he messaged me when I was watching his DVD, I go, I don't know if you remember, but we messaged before, and we'd still love to do an interview. And he goes, oh, yeah, we're in Stanford shooting, and I'm in my apartment, and I got nothing to do, so why don't you come on down?
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was interesting. That's how that kind of came together. And, yeah.
Yeah. It was a rainy
right-
day.
It was a rainy day, and I was very nervous about going down there because
Yeah.
it's the
It's
guy.
a judge.
He's a judge on the show.
He's an ABS mastersmith.
Right. Even when we went to Blade Show, I kind of had a weird feeling about approaching these master smiths because as you can see, I have stuff that I've been working on here, and these guys, when you get that title, I don't know, something about it. You see their incredible work, and I don't even know where to start, where to
Yeah.
go up and say hello, and like, I like your stuff.
We had to kind of swallow that.
Exactly like that.
And we just had to go for it.
Yeah. So, so he had us to his place, and we got that interview, and that was right
Yeah.
before Blade Show, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and it was a great interview. I got to watch it. Some fun facts, some fun stories and insights about the show, about the blades. I mean, and you made, obviously, we saw one piece, but I mean, we're seeing some great forging right here.
I wouldn't necessarily call it great, but it's definitely forging.
Yeah.
It's the first knives that I've made, and I'm not done with them yet. I've literally the most recent step that I've done to these is I've heat treated them. I did the quench on these last week, and it was the first time I've done that on my own. I had done it once before or twice, both with Peter Schwartzberg. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sean and I were still working on those original knives. We never finished, but Peter had done our quench on those with us. And then I had made one other knife with Peter back when I took a class with him. And so I've been working on these and slowly, piece by piece, making them into actual knives. And so next step is waiting on my grinder to get here because I ordered a 2x72 grinder, and I need to set that up so I can actually turn these into knives because there's a big difference between this and this.
Which has a nice Damascus pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
This was Belmont Blade Works. I bought this while we were at Blade Show. You can take a peek if you want. But
Yeah, what kind? Really quick, what kind of pattern is it? Is it like?
I think it's just a low layer Damascus.
Yeah.
Yeah, random lower layer Damascus on that. No, not a particular pattern.
Yeah.
Maybe Ranger.
That was that was almost
Maybe
gonna be
a
my
little-
first guess, but
They're kind of stretched out though, so
Yeah.
it's
It's
not.
hard to, yeah, raindrop's more circular when
Yeah.
you see it. But
do you
anyway.
have a favorite Damascus pattern amongst you guys?
You know, I do like it's well, this is the thing. I follow Mareko Malmasi, and he's like this guru
Incredible.
when he comes to his Damascus patterns and these mosaic Damascus patterns that he comes out with. So I like some of the stuff he makes. It's some really cool stuff. And Josh Prince
Yeah.
makes some really cool mosaic Damascus patterns, and the way that they stack the steel and make those things work out the way they do is awesome. And you know, it's also cool that we've met those guys, and
Yeah.
and we've chatted with Mareko multiple times, and heck, I hung out with Josh at a bladesmithing event a couple months back and got to shoot the shit with him for a little while. It was fun. So I'm a little biased in having hung out with these guys, I think,
Of
but
the basic ones, I like Twist.
twist and mask, like a cable twist style. Yeah, those are cool looking too. The cable
Yeah.
twist.
Yep. I think the first time I saw Chevron, I was like, wow,
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
What about you? You
I mean, they're all pretty cool. I mean, the raindrop's pretty nice. The ladder pattern, I think, is pretty cool.
mhm.
I think one or two times on Fortune Fire, someone tried to do a shark tooth, and it has extra challenges.
Oh, that's tough. There's some really tough ones out there, especially or like feather pattern. Damascus is one of the most difficult ones to do. And then there's guys that have gone and taken the feather pattern and even made it a step harder and made, like, I think they called it the River Fire pattern, where it was like it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
feather that was like swirling, like giving like an S shape to the feather pattern. It was very neat looking. The feather is the one that like is the way that a lot of these mastersmiths
Yeah.
show off. They show off how well they can do a feather pattern Damascus. But it's all cool. It's all cool. Eventually, I'd like to be able to make Damascus, but I don't have a forge or a press that's capable of doing that. I have a single burner forge, so it's much easier to do.
Baby steps, Chris.
I know. I'm not looking to do that yet, but I'm just saying it's a lot easier to do mono steel with what I have currently. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then let's talk a little bit more about the content that you have on the show. So one of my favorite videos or video series within the series is Chris's workshop.
Yes.
Tales from
Building
the
it.
Forge.
Yeah, and then it stopped, and I'm like, wait a minute, there should be more. Like, am I missing something?
Well, so here's the thing. So there was the Building a Workshop series, and it got to the point where we need to focus on actually building the workshop and not recording us building the
Yeah.
workshop. And it got difficult with the amount of work that had to be done to even bother setting up a camera. And then Sean helped me quite a bit in getting my workshop put together the way it is, because that workshop shed was all like halfway across the yard, and the two of us moved that across the yard on
Yeah.
our own. And I put a new like wall frames in, and Sean helped me put a whole new floor together for that thing. And we took pictures along the way, and it's more Instagram stuff. You'll find that rather than within the videos. And then from there, once I had a working workshop,
In the end, it got built.
it got built.
Yeah.
And so there's no real
So
stuff
that
to
was
put
it.
there. And then I could transfer over to when I'm outside forging, but I'm not good enough yet. That's my personal opinion. I don't want to show what I'm doing because I'm still learning the ropes and trying to get some of these things down. So I'll show what I'm working on, but I know I don't have good form, and I know I'm not doing stuff the most efficiently. So I don't want to promote too much of that because I don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't post more about that. But I do have another YouTube channel that I just started posting stuff on. And you can see the videos on my Instagram as well. It's Let's Melt. And I'll melt stuff in my forge. And I'll
If it
eventually...
melts.
Like the
if it melts.
sidewalk chalk.
The sidewalk chalk that gets really
when
hot.
I saw that one, I told him, like, where did you get that sidewalk chocolate? That, like, we have our 4-year-old. I have her home sometimes during the week, and that's like a go-to is the sidewalk chalk. I need it.
We have a giant tub of sidewalk chalk. There's plenty there. Anyway, that was just something that a buddy of mine mentioned I should do, and I've done a few, and I want to do more, but whatever, it is what it is. I have a couple more scheduled to come out where I burn a banana and an apple in the forge just to see what happens. But eventually, that YouTube channel is going to be the place to go to see the stuff that I'm working on in the forge as well. When I do decide to start recording that again, it's going to be part of the Infinite Forge uploading on that channel.
I'm gonna do a light bulb next.
Oh, I should do a light bulb. I
See what
have.
Oh, it's a
happens.
light bulb?
See what happens.
See what happens. Well, actually, that's the next one.
It looks like you know what happens.
I don't know what
The
happens.
look on your face.
I
See what happens.
you know, we have all
Yeah,
those
he's
solar
lying.
lanterns outside.
Yeah.
A couple of, I mean, they're cheap Home Depot solar lanterns, and they haven't held up so well. And I broke a couple.
those are
of
all
them.
plastic, though.
Yeah, and they melt too. I
Well,
found
those
that out.
of course they'll melt.
So that's one of the next ones coming up is solar lantern goes into the
Oh.
forge. Man, did that make a mess inside the forge.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Well, it's your forge.
it's my forge.
Yeah.
Honestly, the mess is nothing compared to the grabbing onto the hot melting plate with my finger at one point. But whatever.
Were you wearing gloves?
No.
Okay. Well,
Oh no, it was my own fault.
This is why he doesn't want to film it.
oh boy.
No, that one I think I did have on film because it was for the Let's Melt stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't think I put that in the video.
Bloopers. Chris
Oh.
immersed himself.
You just see me yell and throw the thing down to the ground, and that was about it. That was
Oh.
the extent of the injury. But anyway,
Did you have some bleed speak that you
Do
brought?
Well, I'll get the easy one out of the way for the casual fans that don't know what we talk Forge and fans of the Forge and Fire. So, on my trusty, what seems like something from the 1990s
Your arcade.
notepad. And I took this since it's themed and how fitting it's fans of the Forge in this crossover with Absolute Talk. So back in season 3, early on in an episode, I can't remember the name, so I apologize. But one of the bladesmiths, apparently the challenge was to take lawnmower blades and forge them into your signature style. My worst will-o-wisp ever. And then Jay Nielsen asked him when they were examining the blades, because he didn't forge his blade. He asked him, do you know what the definition of forging is? And he said, and I'm pretty sure I got this right and I quote, it's forging is using heat and a hammer to manipulate steel to a shape.
yeah, I'd say that's accurate. I'd say that's pretty good
Yeah.
description of what forging is. Having done it myself, I can agree that is the right definition.
Generally, swing the hammer and smash the metal
When it's
into a
hot.
shape.
When
When it's
And
hot,
a
that's
fire.
the key part. when
Using
it's
the
hot.
heat. And-
Exactly.
And get it really hot, not like a pale orange, because then you hit a judge and say, oh, it's not hot enough. It's
Yeah.
not going to get quite the shape he wants. That's my worst David Baker right there.
Yeah. Well, there's another common phrase that goes around in the smithing community. It's heat, beat, repeat when it comes to forging.
I heard that,
Yes.
which is, to whoever's listening, heat, beat, repeat is, I assume, take your metal, put in the forge, beat with a hammer, and if it starts cooling down, reheat it.
Yeah.
Beat it with a hammer
Repeat.
again until you're ready to say it's done. But yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your take on on oil quenches versus water quenches? Because for me, I was said pretty much just quench part or all of it in the oil, and I'm always like imagining, like, if I was gonna forge a blade, I would probably do just an edge quench. That way I have that softened spine and give it a shock absorber, give it more flexibility. And then it's like, okay, what else could I do to my fantasy blade? Oh, put a fuller in there, give it more strength.
Well, it's very observant, and a lot of guys live by the edge quench. That's like a main thing that guys would like to do, because you really only need to make sure that the edge is the hardest part so you can give it a solid edge that'll hold up. Now, when it comes to water versus oil, I'm not an expert in this, but I can tell you that I've accidentally water quenched a couple things, and it's never worked out well for me. In fact, this one fell into a bucket of water while I was working on it, and you can see pretty clearly the cracks that formed in the handle area when it fell in there. So whether or not those will grind out remain to be seen, once I get the grinder up and running. Structurally, they don't seem to necessarily go all the way through because I've taken that particular knife and tried to smash it on concrete, and it hasn't broken.
Looks like surface cracks.
So
for the most part, but I almost feel like a judge on the show. Like it looks like cracks on the surface on both sides. Doesn't look like it goes all the way through. Chris,
be interested to see what happens in the next round. Be interested to see how you take care of that in the next round.
You got that antler chop coming up.
My concern is that if you grind those down, is it going to leave the handle really thin? I mean, it's nice for plus also the handle. If you make it to the next round, you might
fit Teresa's hand, but not mine.
It might fit Teresa's hand.
Well, there's ways to extend a handle when it comes to when the amount of wood you put on there is all on you, and you could
partial tang.
I could very easily turn that into a partial tang, a hidden tang design, and then just put it in a block and do it that way.
Doug would probably say it looks pretty good for maybe thrusting and poking and stabbing. Might make a decent chopper, but the handle though.
It's a small chopper.
It's
a very small chopper.
It might make a decent kitchen knife eventually.
Yeah.
I always love when he does that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's perfect for you.
Yeah.
There you go. Teresa's first custom knife.
Nope.
Yeah.
Claimed it.
Yeah. Of course, the scary part will probably be if Teresa's missing. Like, hey, Chris, where are all the knives that I had in this drawer? Have you been reforging them to make them sharper, make them longer? I don't need that much for a cleaver.
Well, I don't have anywhere near the amount of confidence in my skills to try anything like that anytime soon. It's much easier just taking a regular old piece of steel, heating it up, and seeing what shape you can make out of it. Hence why I have such a wide variety of shapes here. The butter knife, this type of knife. I don't know what you want to call that one, but it's a funky knife.
I don't know.
And my blacksmith, but this is like a blacksmith style knife because the handle is made out of metal as well. And this won't get any extra stuff. So this is all the handle's going to be. It's more a letter opener than anything else. I think this one.
Yeah.
What?
People don't use letter openers anymore.
I do.
Sure they do.
I use a letter opener for every piece of mail I get.
Is it on principle?
I use it. I have a letter opener and I use it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this would, and look, it has a nice little area to hang it. It's just not quite sharp. I mean, it works. I've used it, but it's quite not there yet. Anyway.
I think it looks great, Chris.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
As someone who uses a letter opener, I think that would do quite the job.
I have nobody that particularly wants that letter opener.
Clearly, Teresa does not want to use that letter opener.
Clearly, I can manage my mail without one.
You are missing out.
When I'm done with the surface finish on it, you're more than welcome to take that home with you.
All right, I'll test it out.
You'll be my tester on
and
that.
you can resell it.
Okay. We'll do that.
Yeah, I'll test it out.
Okay.
It's so good, Ben Abbott would be proud of it.
Well, I don't know
think so.
about that. Yeah.
Oh, we met Ben Abbott too. Did we not mention that? Yeah, we met Ben Abbott at Blade Show. Actually, I have a picture of Ben Abbott photobombing me and Josh Weston and Charles Leinhart.
Yeah.
We were taking a picture together, so that was kind of funny. Just out of nowhere, Ben Abbott's poking his head in and making a goofy face.
Yeah. Good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to watch his episodes when he was a contestant a couple of times, actually.
Yep.
Oh, they're good.
And I always love it when him or whoever who's been at it a long time, part-time or full-time, it's like they're willing to, even if it's not required, go for the extra mile, go for that extra step if they think they have the time to do it. Like one time in competition, I believe he didn't have to, but I think wasn't he like trying to do like extra layers to get like a nice looking pattern on the blade he was crafting?
Oh, yeah.
I think it might have been like season 2, episode 8 or 9.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. I don't know the number, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's a common thing that guys will do, especially in the final round, if they can do a Damascus pattern, just because
they know if it comes down to like everybody passing all the tests,
It's the fine
it's
details.
aesthetics.
Yep.
And I love the tip, and I know you guys interviewed another contestant, and I think Ben Abbott pretty much confirmed the same thing in terms of the size of the handles, and it came down to shaking the judge's hand. Like, you get an idea, like, okay, their hand is a little bit smaller, or their hand is like Teresa's size, or Sean's size, or bigger than this person. And it's
Dave Baker's big mitt.
Yeah. Bear claws right there.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got to make a handle that kind of can work for almost anyone, but it really has to only work for 2 or 3 judges for testing.
And, you know, if
I think it's 2
It's
after
usually
round
2.
2.
Yeah. I think something that I've seen that's a common thing that goes over well with the judges is if you swell out the bottom of the handle a little bit, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
even
Yeah.
if it's not quite the right size, but you go a little bigger on the handle, and then you have a swell down here to keep the hand from coming off the bottom when they're swinging it. It makes it overall more comfortable for any of the people using it, and it's just safer to use as well sometimes. So that's something I've noticed over the year plus of us doing this. That is a common feature that they tend to like, that little swell at the end.
Yeah, and then I remember when Ben Abbott, in the first time he was on the show, when he made it to the final round and had to make this historical sort of, I apologize, I don't remember the name, but one of the things I do remember was, we're talking handles, like he put like this inner kind of foaming kind of padding. It was kind of greenish yellow, and just to make it comfortable for the hand. And then I think Dave Baker and maybe Doug, they really liked it. It was like it made it fit perfectly and it felt comfortable.
Yeah, that's right. I do recall that there's a specific type of guard that you had to put on, that it was common to have either leather or some kind of padding in there, per the historical design of it. And yeah, he did well with that one.
Yeah. And then as we wind down, because I know you guys gotta get going on your show and specifics, but is there one final challenge weapon you really liked?
There's been so many. I know we did that poll once. I'm trying to think of what.
There's
I
been
know
so
I
many
liked
different
the,
ones.
like the wind and fire wheels, was that?
Oh, yeah.
The wind and fire wheels were really cool. I know they made chakrams as well that are kind of neat. The circular blades. I'm a fan of the Roman gladius. It's kind of that real legendary weapon, and it's a simple design, but it's also just brutal design.
Yeah.
And they've done a couple episodes of the Roman gladius, and it's always impressive to see somebody come and do it just like a samurai sword, or that sort of sword is not easy to do, so especially if you're doing a 1,000+ layer Damascus with it. So there's been some good builds. Those are just a few.
Yeah, I always liked the wind and fire wheels, and I think there was a sword, and I think it was a pole arm this season. It was like it had this weird kind of like.
It had a really chunky blade.
Yeah,
Is that the one
it was-
you're talking about?
yeah.
It was really thick. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember what that was called, but man, that was a beast.
That was
a beast.
massive. Yeah, and it just whipped right through whatever they're like a boar or pig carcass, whatever they're doing.
That's the one I wasn't able to see because it got deleted from the DVR. So over the summer, I missed a lot of the episodes.
The
and
boar
I was
sword.
Trying to catch up.
Yeah.
That was what it was
And
called.
that's
The
the
boar
one
sword.
that I haven't caught up on yet.
Yeah.
Because you're away at camp, right?
Yes. What about you? Any favorite final weapons?
I wouldn't say the Hunga Munga from season 3,
Okay.
even though
Fun to say.
I would not say that because of how weird it looked. I mean, it's kind of okay, but I know that Jason Knight, when he judged, he said, like, point blank, I think it was I hate or I don't like. It might have been I hate Hungamongus, but after seeing that, I want one. And he said more than once, like that's big for weapons he doesn't like. Period. But then to see someone make that in that kind of performance and look, it's like that's like a big kind of where it was kind of thing. It really was impressive.
Yep.
But I'd say maybe the Scottish Claymore sword.
That's a classic right there.
Yep.
Especially with the first time they ever did it, and the guys bent theirs so bad, like he couldn't even continue testing on either of them. I think I don't think anybody made it through the test really on that. The first time they did it.
Yeah.
I think that might have been. I thought that was one of the ones that Ben Abbott had to do on this when he came back for the Champions episode.
Because they Will Willis said that the last time that two bladesmiths tried to make that particular sword, they both had problems in their testing. Like one was a catastrophic failure, had a bend that was so bad.
I believe that was Scott Thomas, who we met at Pigeon Forge match.
Yeah.
And then I think if that's true that Ben did that one, I think he had like his edge was okay or something, or it was good but not great. And then the other one I think had a bend or something like that. I can't remember, but I don't think they broke.
You know, I want to bring up one other thing that I just remembered from when Teresa interviewed Peter Schwartzbert. He was talking about when they did the testing for his episodes, and one of them, they actually did horseback tests, and they taped the blade for the test because they didn't want to potentially hurt the horse for the test that they were doing. It was one of those weird little behind-the-scenes things that you don't know happens until you've actually talked to one of the guys, but that was kind of a neat little tidbit.
It was a shield, right? They're supposed to like ride by and hit a shield.
Yeah.
And when it bounced off the shield and back, they didn't want to hurt the horse.
Yeah. So, neat little tidbit of information there.
A funny final weapon was the pipe tomahawk.
Oh, yeah. They had to smoke the pipes, right?
And they all coughed.
Yeah, none of them were there. Oh, yeah. That was pretty good. That was good.
It's like I don't want to smoke this shit anymore.
Yeah,
let's just use the weapon part.
Yeah.
Of it.
Pretty much. Then there's been some weapons that are like the design of them are just strange and, anatomical and things of that nature. And I forget what some of them are called now, but, weapons have been around since there have been people. And so the number of designs that have been coming out over that many years has led to some interesting ones. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then last couple of questions. How about favorite challenge round knives?
I believe when they did one of the tournaments in the last season, they had to make daggers as their main. That was like the first round knife that you had to make was a dagger, and I think that was it was pretty neat to see those guys do that. That would be mine.
I can't think of
A lot of them are like
anything first round.
make your signature blade, so it's hard to really
when they
pick
make their
one.
signature blade, though.
Yeah, it is nice to see what people come up with, especially given the materials that they're given.
Especially when, like, sometimes they have to harvest materials from various things, and it's just so challenging to get the material.
Yeah.
That they don't really even get to finish their knife because they spend so much time getting the materials. Don't entirely care for that.
Or if they have to do a canister.
I love the canister Damascus.
It looks nice, but
especially if it's
messes
not
everyone
a
up.
requirement.
Ugh.
I remember one
Bad
time
idea.
in Deliberation, like Doug Markai's looking at the blades like, and I'm just paraphrasing, like forge weld, canister Damascus.
Oh yeah. It's definitely impressive when they can pull it off.
I always worry when they don't pack the canister all the way. That's where it's a stand up or the canoe.
It's tough,
Sparks coming out.
Oh yeah.
Or they don't
Doesn't
use the liquid
seal.
paper all the way, or they don't use all the wet paper towel
Yes.
I'm surprised no one else has done that yet.
Gotta try it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean, you
I
gotta
think-
think the experts and the master smiths, they see something new, and it's like, okay, learn something new every day. I'll try that one time in my shop and see if that works.
Yeah, you'd think so. It depends.
Yeah.
You watch someone like Steve Schwartzer work, and he's the wizard of canister Damascus, and the stuff that he can do with it is crazy. And I don't know if I've ever seen him use whiteout at all. I think he goes for the regular just grind it off method. Or no, he does have a method he has a very particular method where he can just like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like the canister just falls off afterwards. I'd have to look it up again.
I think Nielsen posted yesterday. He said, take it to the press and then squish it on the corners, so then it was gapping out.
Oh yeah. That's
So
right.
to make it easier to pop that off.
We talk like we've never done it, but we have.
No,
Yeah, I would say signature blade from what people are going for is, you have your slashers, your Bowie knives, and your cutters, your competition cutters. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know, I'm sort of partial fan to the kukri.
Kukris are very
With
nice.
the belly shape,
Yeah.
and I know Jason has the tattoo of them.
That's what he made when
Yeah.
we went to his shop. He made a kukri. That's his favorite design
Yeah.
to make. That's his go-to. So it's a cool one. It's also a very difficult one to finish and grind because you have the inner curve, and I barely have any practice grinding a straight edge, never mind a curved edge. So
Or the recurves. as
exactly,
well.
yes, the recurved edge. Yep.
Yeah, well, and I know jigs help sometimes, and why I also remember it because I remember this was used a couple of times on the show, where it's at the home forge, I think, where if someone's like working on a sword or whatnot, and they see like, oh crap, I have this warp in my blade. Well, let me get a couple of boards and then sandwich it in and clamp and press, and then it's like the warp's out. And it's like, I'm surprised not more people are doing that.
Doesn't always work.
Yeah.
There's different causes to those warps, and there's different methods to correct those causes. So, we've seen all sorts of different ways guys have done it, whether it be aluminum plates, wood, grinding, requenching, which I don't know why that works. It doesn't make sense to me that would work, but okay.
Yeah.
I've seen people grind a little bit on the other side of a blade, and then the stresses within the metal adjust so that it straightens it out. There's a number of different methods for doing that. In fact, one method that I want to try out, and I have a couple knives that aren't down here that are warped from the quench that I did last week, and basically the method that I heard was that I could clamp it between two pieces of steel and then shove it in the oven, cook it at 400 for an hour while it's clamped down, and that actually will help release some of the stress from the warps themselves and help straighten out the blade. So that's going to be the method that I attempt. Again, this is 1084 steel. This is like easy for beginners to mess around with. It's not like the really complicated stuff, because different makes of steel get pretty complicated.
Yep.
And you're talking about like the carbon content, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so more specifically to people who aren't familiar, like, can you describe like how effective or how important it is in terms of carbon content, what that does when you're trying to forge a blade?
No.
I have no way to properly explain that. All I know is that low carbon steel is not going to hold an edge well because it won't harden properly when you go to finish up the blade. So that's why guys generally don't use that unless they're doing a Damascus pattern, and then that way you still want to make sure that your edge is hard steel. But yeah, the difference between carbon content and stuff gets a little bit into the weeds that I'm not even fully aware of how
the carbon
all that
content,
works.
it's a small amount, but it's like a 0.08 0.08% carbon or something like that.
It's like, yeah, is it 0.08 or 0.8?
It's like it's in that realm of like
2 to 3% carbon is extremely high.
yeah.
For a steel, a knife steel. At
Yes.
least. So yeah, so it varies.
Yep. Yeah. So that, and then at some point it just becomes mild steel that won't harden.
Right.
And then wrapping up, how about, because we've been talking so much Forge and Fire, how about favorite and least favorite tests?
Gotta love when they shoot the swords and stuff.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, the bullet split.
Bullet split
Yeah.
is always fun.
And then sometimes you have to do like more than one firing.
Oh yeah. It was Matt Parkinson told us they shot his a couple times, but they only show it
Right.
once.
Yeah.
The goal is they want to get that good video of the bullet splitting into two
Yep.
pieces or three pieces. So that's always a fun one. Antler chops are brutal.
The sword bend test.
Oh yeah.
That's
that
very
was
suspenseful.
30
Yeah.
degrees. But
Both
I don't
ways.
recall like ever one of those bend tests ever breaking.
They've been on flexible blades. I don't know. I've seen them break. I have seen them retain the bend
Yeah,
once or
slightly.
twice.
True.
Yeah. To test for journeyman smith and master smith rating, you have to do a 90-degree bend test. Then it can't break past a certain I forget. It can't crack more than 30% of the blade. Like it can crack a little bit, but it can't crack more than 30% of the way through.
Yeah.
And I've seen videos of that 90-degree bend test, and that on a knife is brutal. It is absolutely like a long sword has so much more flexibility to it. So it's not as bad to get it to 30 or 45 degrees, but on a knife that's like this long, you have to get a pipe on there and you have to really pull that thing
Yeah.
over. And I've seen that a couple times now. It's something else to see in person for sure.
Yeah, I would say worst or scariest test to watch, but probably just as fun is when Jay Nielsen does the ice chop.
Oh yeah, ice chops.
Any
classic.
straight test he does, I could tell he must one day want to play like a serial killer in a movie or something. Like, I'm going to take your precious blades and I'm going to bash them violently 10 times into this block of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't care what the blade does to your ice. I just want to see what the ice does to your blades.
Yeah.
That's a good impression right there.
Chris, you ready?
No.
Not that one. Not yet.
Well, too bad. We're going to do it anyway. Like, and I mean, now favorite tests. Oh, pig carcass maybe. The fish slice. Let's make sushi.
Oh yeah.
Maybe almost any test Doug does.
It's hard to beat a Doug test.
Wasn't there one where there's like 4 fish? And they cut it like 6 times.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, or tatami mats or something, or things that are like 3 in a row or something. It's like right through.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see the good result, and then he describes it and all that stuff, and that's even when in season 5 he was still recovering from an injury, so he had Mercada Kali students come in.
Yep. Yep.
And I've seen the videos on Instagram that he has of his students, like with the wielding and all that stuff. It's like really cool. But I love it when he does like a quick demo after when he's with the weapon. Like, I love the feel of it. I love how it moves and slices cleanly. Your weapon will cut.
Hell yeah.
Of course, the one time I remember a long time ago when they did the slow-mo in the arena after a kill test, I think with a sword or something, he did that slow-mo turns, and then he said, "It will kill."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And then last thing, getting back to this show, Fans of the Forge. So we've seen all the theme stuff and the hot sauce hammer offs, which are really awesome. Teresa's smiling.
Yeah.
Like,
Those are always
They're,
fun
they're
days.
cool, yeah.
Fun days for you because you haven't been there.
No, I enjoy them too. Like, they seem cool.
Okay. Yeah, they're fun.
Even within, she's a fan of the fans.
Yes. Yes.
But do you have any new goals, guys, for 2020 in terms of projects, other themed shows you want to do?
You're looking at my stuff right here. This is my current goal is to get better at bladesmithing. I joined the ABS, so I'm technically a ABS apprentice, and I'd like to eventually maybe get to at least journeyman smith level, if not down the line years from now, master smith. But I got a lot of knives to make if I'm going to be able to get anywhere near that. So my goal is more on the focus of doing this. And a lot of our more recent shows, we've actually tapered off on the amount of notes that we're taking, and it's we want to enjoy the show more. I think is probably the biggest thing when it comes to these wrap-ups that we do is when we have to sit there and take all these notes. It's not fun anymore. It's not fun to watch the show
You end up
anymore.
missing the show.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Good.
you're not seeing
Yeah.
what's happening because you're like, oh gosh, now I gotta pause it. Now I gotta write this down. So we've cut back on that just so that we can enjoy the show more, and hopefully that kind of keeps everything fresher for us. Other than that, there's no
Maybe
real.
we'll finish Tour de Forge.
Yeah, we do got to find
Get those
somebody
handles
else.
on there,
Yeah.
those handle scales.
Sharpen them.
I'll have a grinder soon. We could just do it ourselves at that point and just show how far we've come.
Look at the books.
Okay.
The books and the DVDs.
You first.
Well,
Get a good micarta.
yes. Well, we do have some discount wood that we bought at Blade Show. So
Yeah.
those will make some good handles. We'll get on that. We do have to finish those blades
Yeah.
sometime soon. Sooner rather than later would be nice. And other than that, we'll keep going.
Maybe some more interviews.
We've
haven't
been
done
slacking.
Interviews in a while.
No, I haven't.
It's because I haven't been pursuing doing interviews. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of not a hassle, but it just takes a lot of time to get somebody lined up and get it organized, and then
Time zones. is
time
the
zones,
thing.
getting it recorded through a system where you're doing a Skype call is not easy.
No.
So there's a lot that goes into those interviews. So I would I would be much more happier if we were to just been able to do more interviews like we did with Jay, where we went to a place and we sat
Right.
down and interviewed somebody with a microphone right there. They're much funner when you can talk to the person face to face versus a Skype call. So maybe that's something we can use as a goal for 2020 is more in-person interviews, get back into the interviews a little bit more because we have taken a break from those.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see either Doug Markey or even Will Willis on one of these kinds of phone interviews or whatnot?
We can only hope.
Because I'm impressed at what Will is making, and even on his Instagram account, Whiskey to Whiskey, I believe it is.
Yep.
Like the stuff he's making, and even like telling, I think it was Jay on the Ford set, like I'm gonna make Cancer Damascus. I don't want your help. And then just pulls out like crazy stuff for someone who was in the military a few times as a pararescue. Like,
Right. Yeah, he's picked up a lot of skills from working with those guys, and I know History Channel did a video with Doug and Will a couple years back where they went down to Jay Nielsen's shop and they both did their first
I
knives with
saw
Jay.
that one, yeah.
And from there, Will has continued to make knives and makes them for his sons and as wedding presents and things like that.
He's
from what I
expecting another
understand.
child, too.
That's right. I did see that.
Because I saw the pregnancy test photo.
Yes. So that's cool. But eventually we'd love to be able to interview them. In fact, Jay said that Will's in the same apartment building as him, but it
Right.
was just a matter of getting a hold of them again. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see if I can get a hold of them again because, I talked to Doug once after we met him at Blade Show, and it didn't really go anywhere
I
yet.
think Markita Kali's somewhere in New York.
Yeah, that's true. And either way, we'll figure it out. We'll get something going. If they shoot the show in Stanford, so we could very easily, if they let us, go down there and see the set. But as of right now, Jay Nielsen couldn't even get us on set for the
Right.
day that we interviewed him. So we'll see. We'll see. That'd be a nice thing to do. That'd be another goal to make, is actually get on the set. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I saw like the cool stuff you had for like your 1,000th Instagram follower or something. So I don't know what the tally is right now. Is it like a 2,000 or something?
Oh no,
No.
it's slowed down, but
Ooh.
not that bad. I mean, we're at 1,363, so it's slowly growing, and our YouTube actually has grown more than that. We're at 1,700 on YouTube, which is not bad at all,
No.
actually, for what our content is. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty good. So
You think we'll see like another contest coming up? I mean,
Nope.
It was cool.
No.
What? You mean
I'm
no?
not doing another giveaway.
no more ostrich eggs.
Never ever. Or just
Not
for a
anytime
little
soon.
while?
At
Forge
least.
materials.
I'm taking a break.
No, no beef jerky. Like initially on the 1,000th. I saw
Listen, it's
Sean
not
with
an
beef
issue
jerky.
of getting things together.
It was a struggle to get it all organized for that one.
It's well, I should say it's an issue of getting our stuff. If I
We-
make
we
something,
We're
it's here.
So of course,
But
it's
it's
gonna be
getting
easy.
it. If we're gonna add something in from another Smith or two,
We had high hopes
Not
for
local.
that thing that didn't go to plan, and so next time we do a giveaway, I'm more than happy to give away hot sauce.
I was just gonna say that. Aha!
In
I
fact,
forgot to ask about that.
In fact, I don't know if you like hot sauce, but I do have a couple extra bottles. You're welcome to take one home with you.
What kind you got?
I think I have.
Berry.
I think I have a pineapple over there too as well. I'll have to check. Well, it's over. We'll check on your way out here and
Yeah.
see if you want one. But I don't think we'll be doing a giveaway anytime soon. It would have to be a significant milestone. And as of
Like
right now,
2,000.
2,000 doesn't feel that significant anymore. I don't know.
2,500?
Significant.
Maybe 10,000 on YouTube. If we get to
10,000.
10,000
Yeah.
subs on YouTube, we'll do a giveaway.
5 maybe.
5,000. Okay.
5,000's a good number.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. If we get to 5,000 on YouTube, we'll do another
We
giveaway.
might have to start doing like music reviews
Something.
because those are really popular right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
let's-
someone
let's
just like
re-
listens.
Let's review the theme song.
Let's listen to like rap
Fortune
songs and be like,
Fire,
oh
Knife or
wow,
Death.
we're out of touch, but this is cool.
Yeah, and then of course we're almost out of time. I almost forgot about Knife or Death. Like, really quick, what your guys' take is on that?
No, I love Knife or Death.
Yeah,
I know it's been
Teresa
mixed
loves Knife or
reviews.
Death. I'm okay with it.
I know there's been mixed reviews.
We've,
I mean, I haven't watched it.
check it out. I mean, it's cool in seeing these
It's
guys.
Blade Sports.
Yeah,
That's really what it is, but I enjoy it.
I mean
Yeah.
they're cutting stuff and it's cool. But this is the last season, as far as we know. This is going to
it's
be
not
it.
coming back. After
Yeah.
season 3, it's not coming back from what I've heard. It's a fun show.
Yeah.
And we've had minor interactions with Bill Goldberg because of it. He tagged us in some stuff on Instagram because we did the little
Hey.
wrap up stuff. We met Tu Lamb, who's the other co-host
Yeah.
of the show. We met Travis Wirtz, who's that blade tester on the show.
It's a 2/3 we, unlike always.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was a fun show, and friends of ours from interviewing them on this show have then gone on to be on that show after we've talked to them.
That's fun.
That is the biggest takeaway I would have to say is now we watch Forge and Fire or Knife or Death and we see people that we've met or talked to before for this show, and it gets weird because all of a sudden now you're like, well, I got to root for him, right?
Right.
It's
Yes.
but it's like it's just strange now that it's like somebody I've hung out with, had a beer with or something is up on the screen again. Like Spicy Mike's going to be back on. He's going to be on Knife or Death episode very soon, and then well, it's already happened, but we have
Yeah,
to see
we
his
haven't watched it
episode, and then he's on another episode of Forge and Fire up against Colin Sage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Colin Sage is in that episode with them, and they just started to show previews for that.
Oh really?
So that'll be an interesting
Oh, that'll be
one.
good.
Season 7.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know when that is, but I'd say that's, if that's one thing to go out on, I'd say that's one of the coolest things about it is now we watch a show and we can be like, hey, we met him. Hey,
Yeah.
we met Jay Nielsen. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, and then just big props on the stuff you're forging and stuff.
I'm not forging because I don't have a forge.
Well, you're welcome to come
make
over.
But you make
Yeah.
craft good stuff, and I mean,
You make some killer
Teresa
beef jerky.
made some great stuff like this.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Darth
yes.
Vader coaster, and yeah, and when I saw the quilt with the sword, I was like, oh my god, it looks like something out of Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
That's
told her.
cool.
I told her there's a market for those. If she was to make more of those, I bet that they would sell. And
Yeah, we'll see.
Blade warmers.
Well,
Yeah.
I have all the materials to start working on this.
yes,
the
she got
sheets.
some not real leather,
Right, the faux leather.
faux leather material to make some sheaths for the knives that I put together. So that's one of ongoing
It's an
projects.
upcoming
Yeah,
thing.
I gotta have a knife finished for her.
You
to be
can
able to
hit up
shoot.
like a Boy Scout camp and be like, all right, leather, merit badge kids, here's some knives. I need some sheaths made. Get at it.
True. That could also.
There you go.
Yeah, I hit the button for approval.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect way to go out on the end of the show there, I think.
Yep. And get ready one day if you ever need one of these for Halloween.
Well, don't come to us.
No.
Don't.
Go to Dustin. Dustin Rhodes made that one.
Yeah.
We still
And not
have
the wrestler, by the way.
no, not Dustin Rhodes the wrestler, but Dustin Rhodes the bladesmith. We still have to do a test video on that eventually. I'll get around to it, but
Some pumpkins.
Ooh.
oh,
Smashing
that'd
Pumpkins.
be fun.
There you go.
Good one,
yeah.
John.
All right.
There we go.
Wow.
And then you can melt it.
Yes, perfect.
Melt the pumpkin. And you can roast some pumpkin seeds.
Okay, we'll do that. There's a whole video.
Listen, I just
series
got
right
you all
there.
set up, man.
You just gave us a whole month's
yeah.
worth of content right
Right.
there.
Just like the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy in Ghostbusters.
Oh,
Melting with the rays on fire. and it yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Unless you have like one or two questions for me, what was this Q&A on this crossover with cake?
well,
I know you guys seriously sorry. You guys have any questions for us?
What are you doing? You got anything new coming up? Any good interviews besides this one?
So it probably is already going to be out by the time the video's posted, but October I'm doing speaking of recaps, a Ghostbusters recap with a friend of mine who's the host of Channel X on the Bro Pro Network on YouTube, Tom Dog Morse. We're covering Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in different weeks, which is the 35th and the 30th anniversaries respectively. New Ghostbusters movie in 2020 in July. And it's not going to be off the female reboot.
Oh, darn.
Three of the four original Ghostbusters are supposed to be
Wow.
coming back.
I've heard. Well, who's
Who's
not
not?
around? Harold Ramis died.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, I believe, are both in it, including a few other regulars from the first two movies. But they're not going to do it off the reboot. It's going to be more off the first two movies in terms of storyline attachment and all that.
That's cool. You have any competitions coming up?
Well, let's see. I was in Delaware a couple weeks ago. And since right now we're filming and it's October, I'm going to, I think, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania
When?
next weekend.
You're gonna be there like
I'm
a couple
driving.
days before I'm gonna be there for a trade
What?
show. I'm going to King of Prussia for a trade show. That's so funny.
Which hotel?
It's at the Valley Forge casino. There is where the trade show is. I don't know what a.
Yeah, I'll be at the Crown Plaza Hotel.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Not far from the mall.
Okay.
So if you're like near the mall, it's like, oh man.
I'll be going down that Monday of that following week, I think. So
Yeah.
I'll probably just miss you. But good luck in your competitions.
Thanks. I'll probably bomb as always, but at least
it'll be fun.
but hey, I'm not saying this just as a cheap plug. but your show's actually the one I was in Delaware a couple weeks ago. It kind of helped me get through like the bad efforts in comps. So it's like take my mind off of that with something nice, and also some Jay Nielsen testing. Also, always helps.
Oh yeah. Just to see the ferocity that he puts into those strength tests, it kind of helps.
See, now I think you would definitely benefit from Knife or Death.
Why?
Because it's all smash. It's all people just chopping
it's all
stuff.
Chop and smash.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
You're going through a
but
course.
then I still have to learn how to forge a blade or something.
What are you talking about? You just got to watch a show. That's all you're doing
Yeah,
now.
you don't have to forge a blade. You know, there are guys in there that don't forge their own blades.
That's true.
You mean they buy a blade?
Well, yeah.
There have been people that have been like, I bought this online. I don't know where it came
Chris
from.
bought this.
Yeah, people buy knives, man.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was like a friend of mine at work or something, because I was talking about your show and I was talking about the bladesmith terminology, and it's like, hey, you should be on Forged in Fire. It's like, that's great and all, but I have to learn a whole lot more, and Chris is a lot ahead of the curve than I am.
And I am still very far behind.
Yeah.
So, hey, we'll see what happens. I won't be going on Knife or Death, though, because that's over. But maybe one day I'll enter a blade sports competition and see how I do in that.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have steel. I can make a chopper now. I don't know if 1084 is the best steel for that, though. I'll have to find out. Talk to Big Chris.
No to talk to, yeah. Big Chris or Reddick, Jason Reddick.
Yep. Anyway, I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. But guys, this was awesome. Turn the tables, no pun intended. Aside from this table
Right.
set up, but it's cool. I mean, crossover special. My first time doing interviews on YouTube. It was great to be in the forging studio. I
Yes.
guess you could say.
Sure.
Green of Forge, Mushroom of Forge, whatever's on your green wall.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I'll put there. We'll find something. Who knows?
Water with a shark.
Water with a shark.
Yeah,
Like
All
a
right.
shark,
I'll
just
tell
like
you
a
that
shark, like every 5 minutes, just pass by, like just a fin.
Oh, that'd be cool. And then at the very end, maybe it's like a cut of the Jaws shark just like popping up out of the water at the screen or something.
Can you do it so like if I do this, like I punch it and it like goes and it just disappears?
Or have this.
I am not going to remember to do
Hey, shark, you want my cake?
There you go.
It's really good.
Get out of here.
All right.
Well, I'll let you guys get going on whatever film you gotta do after this. So
No, that's it for us tonight.
That's it?
This was
Yeah.
our whole plan for tonight was
Oh.
having you here. So
cool. Aw.
thank you for coming over and interviewing us. It's a change for us. It's
Yeah.
different. So it was fun. So we really appreciate you coming by. And we'll have to do it again sometime. Maybe
Yep.
even have you on for a Forge and Fire wrap up or something at some point.
Hey,
Kinda cool.
I'm pretty much free at this point. I'm a half as was as I never will be a dancer. So, but yeah, let's do this again sometime. And let's. Oh, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta do it I gotta do the closing. Damn it.
Sure, do what you got to do, man.
But yeah, thanks to these guys. Thanks to fans of the Forge. Great times. And don't forget to check them out on their YouTube channel. Fans of the Forge on YouTube.
Yep.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Anchor. What do you got? Again, Spotify?
Spotify, iTunes Store, anywhere. It's you just search your audio podcast of choice. You'll find Fans of the Forge. Whatever app you use, it should work.
Yeah. What he said.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you all, because because you never know when this gets released. Well, maybe 2020, who knows? We'll see, but
Maybe next week.
Probably in like 2 weeks is my guess. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it's-
have one scheduled for
well-
next week already.
All right.
yeah, we'll figure out when to schedule it. And then until then, if you're watching the video of this, thank you so much. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, then stay tuned later. I'll tell you when I'll be back on my show next time. But till then, take care, so long, and peace out, and keep on forging.
Going to the shark again?
Ladies and gentlemen, you are officially channeled into
Absolute Talk.